Okay, welcome to our Overflow October call today. I am so excited to be hosting tonight's call because I believe that we are going to come off this call pumped. All right. So last season, we were talking about rebuilding the walls and setting new goals and getting ourselves around new environments and being around new people and making sure we have a new mindset. And now we're talking about the overflow. So once you make the decision to put yourself in a situation of abundance, to put yourself in a situation of opulence, to put yourself in a situation of overflow, ladies and gentlemen, guess what happens? Okay, guess what happens? When you put yourself in a position of overflow, you automatically are going to hit opposition. All right. So we've got to be prepared for this, but we also have to make sure that we have a strategy, a system that's going to be designed to make sure that we continually and consistently stay focused. Now, when I hit a button for you or when you're writing notes, okay, I want you to just put 777s in the chat if you understand what I'm talking about, because we're going to do this together on tonight's call. Okay, so if we're taking on from last, and if you were not on the previous calls, please go back and have a look at our last season, which was, where we studied, Nehemiah, and we were looking at rebuilding the walls and how to make sure that we can build and protect, how we can stay focused on the goals, and how we can make sure that we surround ourselves by the right people, the right mentorship, that we are aligned with the right people. And now once we've got our foundation, then we go into overflow. Someone type in the chat overflow for me. Very, very important, okay? Extremely important to be in a position of overflow. So we're going to be speaking about a few things. So I definitely want us to go ahead and just take some notes, okay? And there's some things I wanted to cover in the short time that we do have together. So I did go ahead and just make some notes, okay? And so we're going to look at today the 5 E's, okay? The 5 E's. The first one is our expectation, okay? So this is our goal. What's the expectation for yourself in this new season that you have? You have to expect something. What is it that you're expecting in this time? We've got to have expectations. If you expect nothing, guess what happens? Nothing. Okay. So what is your expectation in this next 90 days? What do you want to achieve? You see, some people are already thinking that this year's finished, but I want to tell somebody on this call that this year is far from over for you. This year is far from over. In fact, the overflow can come in the work that you're doing in your mind right now. This is not time to start saying, okay, this year's over, let me look for 2023. How about we end with a bang? How about we end on some real big decision making? How about we end by making sure that we plant our feet? How about we end to make sure that we position ourselves for true overflow in this year? How many of you are claiming it that before this year's out, there's going to be some big news before this year's out? And I want you to put your cameras on if you're able to, because I want to look some of you in the eye to be able to tell you guys tonight that before this year's over, there is going to be an overflow. But before this year's over, you have to expect that overflow. That overflow has to be an expectation. It cannot be, it's not going to be a surprise. It's going to be expected. You have to expect that there's going to be something big, something new, something that's going to enlarge your territory, something that's going to increase in your life. There's going to be a filling and a pouring, an overflow. You see, when we look at the word overflow, guys, it doesn't just mean that, it just comes onto the cup and it fills up the cup. Overflow means that there's going to be abundance. There's an abundance of blessing. There's an abundance of territory. There's an abundance more than you could ever ask for. That sometimes we ask for so little. Sometimes I remember when I first passed my test in my car and I wrote down, how many of us know that if we write it down, it comes to pass? Because those without a vision, they perish, right? So we're taught to write it down. We're taught to say, I'm so happy and grateful now. And we write down our goals and we have it everywhere. And one of the things that my mentor said to me once was this. It was so funny, right? You've written down your goal for the car. And what car have you written down? The Renault Megane. It's my first car, right? The Renault Megane. This is how far my belief system could stretch. I didn't ask for a Rolls Royce. I didn't ask for a Bentley. I didn't even ask for a BMW. I asked for a Renault Megane. Now, when I passed my test, ladies and gents, what car do you think was my very first car when I passed that test at the age of, I think I was like 20 or something like that? What do you think my very first car was? Someone take a wild guess inside the chat box, because I tell you this, you receive not because you ask not, okay? You receive not because you ask not. What you shall ask for is what you will receive. So yes, Samantha, yes, Brina, the Renault Megane was my first car. Why? Because that's exactly what I asked for. So I thought, okay, this stuff works. So guess what I did? I wrote down I wanted a BMW next. And I was having the expectation of a BMW. And guys, guess what my next car was? I wrote it down, okay? I didn't write a Ferrari. I didn't write, I didn't write a supercar down. I didn't write Range Rover. I wrote down a BMW. I was very specific about that. BMW X1. I didn't even write X5. Can you imagine? I wrote down an X1. Now, someone tell me this. What was my next car? What was my next car? Was it an X5 or was it an X1? It was an X1, Charmaine. Why? Because what I wrote down is what I received. And as a man thinks, so whatever you're thinking about on a consistent basis, guess what's going to happen? It's going to show up, right? We already know that words, okay, are so powerful. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. And so if you're speaking it, BMW X1, and you're writing down BMW X1, guess what happens when you go outside? Has any of you had this, when you have your heart fixed on a car, and anytime you're outside, that's the only car you ever see? Like, oh my gosh, there's that car again. There's that car again. There's that car again. Why? Because whatever you speak out your mouth, it's going to come to you. You're going to see it. You're going to attract to it. Automatically, it's going to come to you. And some of you are saying, if only I can get an extra £10 an hour. If only my boss can give me an extra £5 an hour. All I need is an extra 100 to get me through the month. What do you think's going to come to you if that's what you ask for? I don't mean to step on any toes, but there's some people out there that say, all I need is a little side man. I don't mind if the man is not with me all the time. But all I need is a man, as long as he's got a little bit of money. Some of you are selling yourself so short, because whatever you speak out your mouth, I see some of you laughing. I ain't even playing, because it's serious business. It's serious business. You don't want to pray for a man that you want. You're praying for what you think you can get. And there's a big difference to that. And that is your belief system, ladies and gents. That's your belief system. How many of you have said, okay, maybe I'm getting on right now. I've had a few failed relationships, so maybe I'll go for someone. You start negotiating now. You start negotiating. It's the same with a car. It's the same with a car, guys. Whatever you think about constantly, it's going to show up in your life. By default, it will show up in your life. So the first E is expectation. You got to have an expectation for your life. What are you expecting in the next 90 days? What is it for your family that you're expecting for the next 90 days? What is it for your goals that you're expecting for the next 90 days? What is it for your life? What is it for your finances? Especially if you're here in the UK right now, you're probably hearing about all the economic crisis that is predicted that people ain't going to be able to heat their house because the energy bills are so high. You're hearing about all these things that are going on right now. I see you, Belinda. All these things going on right now in the world. What are you focusing on? Are you focusing on what you can do? Are you focusing on what your goals are? Are you focusing on other people's limitations? We have to be careful around the type of people that we put ourselves around, because when you're limited by other people's limitations, guess what happens? You start to believe what other people say about you. You start to perform and act what other people say. How many of you have ever had a new thing or a decision to make and you go to somebody else to help you make that decision? Because maybe there's an insecurity there. Maybe you feel to yourself like, yo, maybe I don't know what to do. So let me go and ask one of my friends. Now, you know your friend's working in Primark, and your friend is in the same broke position as you, or your friend doesn't have a partner either, and you're going to them for some reconciliation of thought processes. And all of a sudden, you're now making the same decisions that you were making in a previous season because you're listening to the wrong people. So you've got to have an expectation in your life. Let me tell you this, expect to have to make a decision in this season. Expect to have to make tough decisions in this season. Expect to be in a situation where you're going to be like, yo, this is a little bit weird. I haven't been in this situation before. But you have to expect it. So when you expect certain things, you move a little different. When you expect things, you don't act shocked. When you expect things, you don't get offense. Okay? When you expect the people that you are around not to support you, you don't get offended because you expect it. It's an expectation that I know that not everybody's going to come with me on this vision. Not everybody's going to believe for this new thing that God has put in my life. Not everyone is going to be supportive. So when you expect it, it doesn't get you down. I was speaking to one of my friends the other day and she was so down. She was so sad. And when we got to the root cause, it was disappointment in a friend. A friend should have been there. A friend should have said this and a friend should have said that. And I said, I'm not being funny, but you're caught up so much in other people's opinions. O-P-O. Other people's opinions is going to change your expectation. So that's why you got to make sure that your soil is planted. The roots are planted in soil that is going to nurture you and not crucify you. What are your expectations in this season, ladies and gents? The next E is excitement. Now, I know I have a whole lot of excitement for a lot of us, but some of us need to get a bit more excited about life. Let me tell you this, we are alive. We have breath in our bodies. We are awake. We have opportunity every single day. And some of you are looking like you're going to a funeral every day. Like, we need to get some excitement in our bones. Sometimes, especially if you have a business and people don't want to join your business, they're riding off your energy. You're like, yeah, I'm starting something new. You want to think about, yeah, you probably want to think about. Listen, when I'm speaking to somebody about my business, I'm saying, listen, when you enroll, I'm so excited for you, girl. Listen, I'll tell you right now, when you come into this business, we are going to work. I start speaking life into that person before they've even joined the business because I'm excited for them. I'm excited about what's about to take place. I'm excited. Listen, it was one of my friends' wedding anniversaries yesterday. I'm excited for her because I know that, marriage is a beautiful thing. How do you express excitement every single day? Do you bring excitement to every interaction you make on a daily basis? Do you leave positive voice notes? Are you somebody that loves people? Are you excited about life? Listen, some of you got to get excited about your life. You got to get excited about the things that you're doing. Get excited about your family. Get excited. Be that buzz around the house. Ladies, sometimes your man is depressed because you're too moany. Sometimes you're walking around the house all in some big old ugly jumpers. You're looking like, yo, I don't know where we're going tonight, but you got to be excited at home. You need to be excited around the people. Let people feel your energy when they're around you. Put on some nice clothes. Make yourself excited. Be excited in your environment. Be excited at home. Be excited in your business place. Be excited around the people. Let people be around you and be like, yo, she's a whole vibe. Yo, he's a whole vibe. Don't let people, have you ever been around those people that no matter what happens, they ain't never excited about nothing? You could ring them and say, listen, girl, I'm about to transfer 10,000 pounds in your account. They'll be like, oh, is it? Oh, is it? Oh, are you sure? You don't even have my account details. Like, God, let's wake up, guys. We need some positive energy. No wonder some people are feeling down because you're just around drains. Put some life into your body. Sometimes when you're talking, I don't even have to see you. I can hear you laying down. Sit up. Get some energy in your spine, yo. Get some energy in your muscles. All right? Be that energy that you want to see. Sometimes you got vibes with people. I don't want to hear no death vibe. This is overflow season. So overflow with your energy. Overflow with some excitement. I want to be around people that's excited about life. I want to be around people that when I speak to them, it's joy. I had a good old conversation with my good old sister, Dr. Marcia, today, and we were chopping it up. We were chopping it up about some things, and I was excited about the conversation. It was a good conversation. And not all the time it's about business. We were having a really good conversation. I get excited to hear some of the voice notes that she sends me. I get excited to have conversation with her. Be a whole vibe, guys. Take a look at yourself and think, am I excitement in people's life? Or do I bring just some whole, sometimes you go through things and we're not always going to be energetic. We're not always going to be feeling empowered and jumping up and doing all this stuff. But guess what? Let people have you 90%, at least 80% of the time. They see you're on a vibe. Don't let it be the other way around. Every time you're around someone, they just go around and they're just like, oh, complaining again. You call someone and say, hey girl, how are you? Not too bad. I'm not too bad. I'm all right. When you guys gonna say, I'm great, life is great, I'm a mate. Like, listen, yo, life is good, I'm alive. How many of you just want to be alive? How many of you are pleased that you're alive? Be grateful. If you're grateful you're alive today, knowing that we've just gone through a whole massacre over the last 3 years, go ahead and flood the chats if you are grateful you're alive. Give me some. Listen, some people are so dead energy, they can't even type 7 in a chat. That's how energy, guys. Like, I'm like, yeah, I can't bother. I'll just lay down. I can see some of you right now just laying down on the Zoom, just like, yeah, Nick. Yeah, energy. We want to have energy, excitement. You got to be excited. Enthusiasm is number 3. You have to be, enthusiastic about what you're doing. And part of enthusiastic is taking action, moving. I don't have to wait nobody has to tell me to move. Parents on this call, no one has to tell you that it's school run time. You know when school run time is, you get up and you go do the school run. So why can't you be as enthusiastic about your business? Why can't you be as enthusiastic about your relationship? How many of you have a partner that you live with, but you don't do what you're supposed to do? You don't have the communications that you're supposed to have. You're not enthusiastic about making things work. You're not enthusiastic about making decisions to make sure that things run smoothly, but you'll make sure school runs done though. You'll make sure that dinner's done because you're not going to let the kids starve. You'll make sure that you get to work on time. How many of us are so loyal to the job? I remember when I had freedom from that. And I turned out 1 minute before work was supposed to start. Right? But I remember being so dedicated. How many of you do overtime at work for free? Because you're so dedicated. But in this overflow season, how about we be dedicated to the calling over our life, the purpose, the mission that God has called for us? I'm ready to be enthusiastic about the calling over my life. I'm ready to be enthusiastic about the actions that I have to take every day. I'm ready to be enthusiastic about my personal development. Then I'm going to do my personal development every single day. Mind work, heart work, phone work, every single day. Because I'm going to be enthusiastic about what happens. Okay, guys, let's see who remembers this. Who can tell me what mind work is? Okay, because I know some of you have been slipping out, but we're going to get back into this every single day. Mind work. What is the mind work, guys? We do this every single day. Mind work, heart work, phone work. Okay, there's a standard for us here. We don't play no games when it comes to the mind work. Mind work, heart work, phone work. So mind work every single night before we go to our bed. We say our affirmations. Why? Because we have to shift some of the old paradigms that's been played in our mind. How many of us, our parents told us that money doesn't grow on trees, yet money is just paper, and paper comes from wood, and wood comes from where? The forest, trees, right? So we have to shift that mindset of lack. Oh yeah, we don't have enough. We don't have enough. Oh no, I have to get the lower package. I have to get the things on sale. I have to get the cheaper items because I don't have enough. I have to get dilute drinks because we can't afford. We got to stop speaking like that. I remember my mom used to say this to me, and I love my mom to bits, but she used to say, don't tell anyone your business. Keep your business to yourself. Don't go outside and chat the family business. Anybody ever had that before? But guess what? I've made the most money in my life. I've had the most freedom. I've had the most coaching, the most deliverance from speaking to strangers outside of my house. So those paradigm shift where you suffer in silence, okay, has to change. We've got to shift the paradigm of where we're told to suffer in silence because we're embarrassed about our situation. But the only way to heal our situation is to speak to people outside of our situation. Right? And so these affirmations, what they do every single night is they recorrect some of the old paradigms that we've been told from a young age. So when I go to my bed, one of the affirmations that I speak every night is I'm open and receptive to any opportunity or any person who God places in my life to help me to fulfill the mission. You know why? Because my mom used to tell me, don't speak to strangers. How many of us got told that? Don't speak to strangers. But it's strangers that have been able to impact my life the most when it comes to growing my business, when it comes to healing my mind. So my affirmation has to counteract some of the old paradigms that has got me to where I am right now. I have to stop telling myself that this is the limit. I have to stop telling myself that this is all we can afford. So my affirmation is, I am living in true abundance. One of the old affirmations for me, I used to say, it's lonely at the top. I used to get this, the higher you get, the less friends you have. I had to retract that because I realized that my mind was attracting disappointment. My mind was attracting people that were going to fail me. My mind was attracting negativity. I was expecting relationship breakdowns. So now I manifest that the right people are coming into my life. Now I affirm every day that the right individuals are coming into my life, that the right relationships are coming into my life, that the right people at the right time, in the right opportunities, in the right areas are coming into my life every single day. I am open to the right people coming in. The wrong people will come out because I'm affirming that the right people are coming in. And so I'm breaking that paradigm that I'm supposed to be lonely. I am not supposed to be lonely. I am not supposed to be Billy No Mates. I do have power on the inside of me. I do believe that God wants me to be loved, that I am loved, and that I do believe that I shouldn't be isolated. And so we have to affirm ourselves every night. Why? Because when we go to sleep, those words are manifesting in our brain as we sleep peacefully. So we say these affirmations every night. Some of you got to rewrite the affirmations. What are some of the insecurities that are riding you today? What are the affirmations that you're reading to yourself every day? I do deserve loyal and faithful friends. I will have those loyal and faithful friends in my life. I will have a thriving business. I am a multi-millionaire. I do have the best, for my children. I will have, an amazing marriage. These are the things that we have to reaffirm to ourselves. So when the doubts creep in and when the enemy wants to come in and tell us what we deserve, we've already counteracted it through the paradigm shifts that we've been making. And then we have the heart work, ladies and gents. That's the mind work at nighttime. What's the heart work? Someone go ahead and type in the heart work. Let's make sure we're checking this out. Right? The heart work. What's the heart work? Yes, our goals. So every day we're writing down our goals 10 times. What's your goal? Guys, every day, writing down these goals every single day. No games. Are you writing your goals down every single day? Every single day, 10 times. Why? Because there's so much stuff out there that should you even get yourself out without writing down your goals, something's going to happen. You'll have someone cut you up in traffic. You're going to have something happen at the school. So we've got to make sure that we're clear. What am I going to achieve today? What's my goals this year? What's my goals today? And you write it down 10 times. So we have the mind work at nighttime before we go to our bed, our affirmations. Before we leave our bed in the morning, we have the heart work, the goals that's close to our heart. And then finally, we have the phone work. Someone tell me what the phone work is. Very, very important, the phone work. Because with all the mind work and the heart work, if we don't do the phone work, that's going to be a very, very dangerous thing for business and for relationships. What is the phone work? Making the calls, Denisha. We got to make the calls. I put myself to a target, 10 calls a day. 10 calls a day. Now, if you are running a business, then amazing. You're going to have 10 prospects or 10 customers or 10 potential clients that you're going to be reaching out to every single day. 10. Now, maybe you're not running a business, but you want to make 10 connections, 10 relationships, 10 people. Out of those 10, are you going to check up on your grandma? Are you going to give her a ring and just say, how is she? Out of those 10, are you going to call somebody from the school and just check in on them? Maybe you met somebody in Costa last week that you want to ring and just say, hey, how are you? What's good? 10 calls every day. Build your relationships. You never know that your network could literally help you one day. The other day we had my mom's washing machine broke down and it was someone in my network that went and fixed it for her. That's the power of a network. So are you making friends, making calls every single day? right? Every single day. So you want to rate yourself 1 out of 3, 2 out of 3, 3 out of 3. Are you doing your mind work, heart work, phone work every single day? This is a part of your enthusiasm to fulfill the purpose of your life. Now, talking about phone work leads us into number 4, which is the explosion. When you are doing what needs to be done, there's going to be an explosion. Now, there's going to be an explosion on the left and there's going to be an explosion on the right. Now, the one on the left, guys, I'm going to be honest with you, the one on the left is the one that's going to give you some tension. The explosion on the left is the one that's going to test you that little bit before the explosion on the right comes. The explosion on the left is going to question you. It's going to check your doubts. It's going to poke you in that place that you know gets you. Every single one of us have that thing. Mine used to be my kids. You could do anything to me, but if you mention my kids, it's a different Nikki that comes. I'm gonna knock you out, right? I've learned to control that now. But every single one of us have something where someone can poke you in that area that's gonna test you. It may be your finances. They poke you in your money, and all of a sudden you forget your goals. All of a sudden, let me tell you this, there's gonna be some pokes in this season. Every single one of us from the last, the Nehemiah conversations, we said that there's going to be a new thing, a new blessing, a new overpouring, a new situation going on in our life. And with anything new, there's going to be some pokes. So it's going to be an explosion to the left where it's going to challenge your mind process. It's going to challenge how badly you want it. It's going to challenge you whether you're a stressy person, whether you're an anxiety person, or whether you're somebody that gets excited, or somebody that deals with issues as if they're opportunities. There's going to be pokes. How do you deal with the pokes? How do you deal with things that are not expected? How do you deal with the unexpected situation? Are you a complainer or you are somebody that deals with a situation? Are you an overcomer? We have to be prepared for the poke. The pokes can come in so many different ways. The pokes, a poke can come in a subtle word. Somebody could just simply say something like, "Oh, you're doing that? Okay." And all of a sudden in your mind now, you've just heard that, "Oh, you do that." And that's now seeped into your brain, and you've thought about that, and that's affected the way that you move forward for the rest of the day, the rest of the week. We have to be very careful to notice the pokes. All of a sudden you are set to pay for something, or you're set to do something, and guess what happens? Car breakdown. Guess what happens? Parking ticket. Guess what happens? Something comes along to distract you, and all of a sudden now you done forgotten your goals. You lost your enthusiasm. You lost your excitement. All of a sudden there's no expectation of the future no more. You said that you were going to put aside for a course, or you said you were going to go and set up this business, or you said you were going to go and treat your partner, but all of a sudden something's come along to poke you, and all of a sudden now you throw in the towel. You have to be resilient. You got to build that thick skin. We got to be, back in the days, I tell you this, guys, back in the days when I used to go to school, I used to be rough. Like I used to be so rough. Like anyone could say anything to me and I'm a bad girl. I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to, I'm ready to get into it. And I used to have fights and stories. These days, someone said one little thing and it's, listen, you got to man up. We have to man up in this season. We can't be ready to cry over one little word that someone said. We're so sensitive sometimes. So emotional sometimes. Sometimes it's got to be water off a duck. Someone type water off a duck's back. Yo, it's a water of, you see, overflow? Overflow, right? Get it? The water, the duck is on the, it's got to be water off a duck's back. In order to have overflow, there are some things that just don't get your attention. So it's the same time the explosion happens on the left. Once you overcome that, guess what happens? The explosion happens on the right. Now, the explosion on the right? It's where money drops in your account and you weren't expecting, Shireen. It's where something happens and you're just like, yo, this is crazy. Overflow, extraordinary results. You get a phone call from somebody out of the blue who wants to bless you. You get something, an opportunity that comes to you out of the blue that you're like, yo, this is the type, this explosion that's going to make haters look at you like, how did she fall on her feet like that? Hold on, I swear last week she was broke. I swear last week she was single. All of a sudden in 6 weeks you're married. And they're like, hold up. Where does Sky come from? How come? It's when the enemy is looking at you like, nah, hold up. You know that overflow that just happens just like that? Let me tell you, this is why it's so important to stay in an expectation situation, because just like that overnight, Just like that overnight, you get one phone call, one word, one opportunity, one thing, and that explosion is going to take you to the next level. And that's where the growth lies, guys. And the last one is your exposure, right? You got to keep exposing. Now, it's very important what you're exposing yourself to, because what happens sometimes is we get the explosion, we get the growth, and then we pull back. We go back into our old habits. We stop doing what we're supposed to do. We start exposing ourselves to the wrong people. Now we start sharing the profits and the benefits to the wrong people. And guess what happens? It takes us right back to the beginning again. So we have to be mindful of what it is that we're exposing ourselves to. You know, they say that, you know, when you're exposing yourself to too much light, you will get what? Sunburn. If you put yourself in the sunshine without the right protection, you will get burned. And some of us, we've been burned a lot, guys. How many of you have just typed burn if you've been burnt so many times in the past? You've been burnt so many times that sometimes you don't even want to go out in the sun. Sometimes you don't even want to wet your feet because you're like, oh, you know, I spoke to somebody the other day and they were just like, oh, you know, I don't want to get involved in network marketing because network marketing, I was like, you've been burned in the past. And before you've even heard the information that this lady wants to give you, you already blocked it out because you've been burnt in the past. Now, listen to me. If you allow a previous burn to stop you, how many of you cook fish? Oh my gosh, I didn't cook fish for years. So I'm tired of them fish buns on my hand. I can't take the fish bun in them. When you put the fish in, I can't take it. And if you allow yourself to not get back in the kitchen, guess what happens? You're going to starve, but you're not going to eat the type of food that you want to eat, right? You cannot allow a past burn to stop you from going forward. But that means that we must expose ourselves to the right things, get ourselves in the right environments, make sure that we are, you know, we're very, very precious people to God. He doesn't want any and anything for us. He says that we are blessed and highly favored. So that means that you don't want to be around anything or anybody that doesn't make you feel blessed, that doesn't put you in a place where you are favored. You want to be surrounded by people that's going to pour into you, not pull out of you. You listen, let me tell you this, and I'm going to finish right here. It's very simple. It's very simple. Who you're exposing yourself to is the reason why you have the results you have right now. The people that you're hanging around right now, the people that you're expecting to validate you, I should say, is the reason why you are where you are right now. Who are you looking to for that little tick? Who are you looking to confirm? Who's your accountability partner? Who's that person that if they say, I'm proud of you, or well done, it gives you that feeling inside like, yeah, I've made it. But let me ask you that question again. That person that you're thinking of, do they have the results you want? That person that you're thinking of, have they achieved what it is that you are looking to achieve? Most of the time, we're looking for love in all the wrong places. And so very simply, we're going to make sure that in this overflow season, we have these 5 E's on lock. We are expectant. We have the expectation that there's going to be an overflow. We are excited about life. No matter what happens, we are excited about our opportunities. We're excited about our life. We are patient as well, right? We have enthusiasm. Nothing is going to bring us down. There will be hiccups. There will be explosions on the left. But because we understand that we are exposing ourselves in the right environments, in the right areas, and we understand that growth is a part of the 5 E's, there's nothing that we're going to allow to deter us away from what it is that we are doing in this overflow season. So I challenge you this week, guys. Who's up for the challenge? The challenge is this, to focus on your 5 E's this week. Make sure you do your mind work, your heart work, your phone work, and catch yourself if you start speaking death over yourself. Catch yourself if you stop speaking positive. I dare you this week to count every time someone says, hey, how you doing? I dare you, instead of saying not bad or good, say great. I dare you to change your language this week. How you doing, bro? I'm great, you know, I'm blessed. Life is good. I dare you to say that instead of just going, yeah, I'm all right. You know, good is the enemy of great, right? So it's back to that car example I gave you. When you say you're good, you're manifesting good. And good is the enemy of great. So we're going to make a pact today that anytime anyone asks you this week, how you doing? I'm all right. No, you're not. I'm great. I'm alive. I'm blessed. And I dare you to find something genuinely to be excited about. I'm so great. You know, my children are just so healthy. They're at school. They're whatever you can think of. But I dare you not to respond good. I dare you not to respond not bad. I hate that one. That one does me in. I'm not bad. But wouldn't expect you to be bad. Right? But I don't want you to be bad. I don't want you to be not bad. Let's say I'm great, I'm amazing, I'm fantastic, I'm super fabulous. You know, if you can bring that energy, I dare you to be intentional about bringing good energy to everyone that you connect with, right? In fact, I dare you to switch it up. Don't be robotic with it. So one day someone says that, you think, yeah, I'm great. Next day, Medea, man, yes, I'm amazing. How many different boop, boop. Well, maybe not the gum finger, but you know, can take the girl out of depth with me. You can't take the depth without the girl, eh? Right? Whatever you do, nudge, whatever. Yes, I'm brilliant. I'm amazing. Yeah, I'm Medea, man. Yes, life's good. Good as girl, eh? Whatever it is that you're going to do to bring energy to that response, right? We're going to practice this week, guys. Who's up for it? Just say me if you are up for the challenge. All right, I'm excited about this challenge because we are going to bring some energy everywhere we go. That is including written, verbal communication, written communication. I dare you when your boss sends you an email, hope you are well, you reply, hey, better than well, I'm amazing, right? I want us to put it in writing, put it in word, put it in the way we speak, our body language, right? It's a great move, Gary, right? It's a great move. I want us to get excited this week. So that's our homework this week. All right. I'm so excited. I'm going to just stop the recording.